Okay, I've had enough. I've left the UK and I've packed my bags to Dubai for the next month. And it's not just because of beautiful sunsets like this behind me, but there's deeper reasons why I feel like it's time for me, who's trying to set up their online business, to leave the UK. I recorded a video while I was still back home explaining exactly why I'm leaving. So I'll catch you in that, and I look forward to sharing more Dubai content in the coming days. And not only do I feel like I need to explain why I'm leaving the UK, but I also feel like I need to explain why I've moved to Dubai of all places. Especially as I think Dubai has a bit of a negative perception in the Western world for some understandable reasons. And I think I need to explain exactly why I've picked that as a place versus all of the other places in the world you can go to start your own business. So firstly, I'm going to explain the push factors from the UK. Then I'm going to explain the pull factors as to why I've gone to Dubai. And then I've got this third category of other reasons why I've just decided to get up and go and move somewhere for a month. If you're new back to the channel, welcome. My name's Sol. I used to be a strategy consultant, as I said. I'm documenting my journey moving from the 9 to 5 into business and content creation more specifically. And I want to share everything I've learned along the way. So if that sounds interesting, then give me a subscribe and let's get into the video. Okay, so firstly, I want to explain exactly what's pushed me out of the UK. And there's two main reasons why I've decided that even while I'm building up my financial reserves, the UK is not the place to be. And the first reason is something you won't need me to tell you, but the weather here is actually awful. And I think there's a few things there. I think firstly, my happiness is very much dictated on what the weather is. I love going outside. I love exercising. And when it is genuinely freezing cold and also pissing it down with rain, it just means that I spend a lot more of my time inside and I'm genuinely a lot less happy as a person. But the other thing I've noticed about the weather is it really makes everyone else unhappy. And I can tell you from doing street interviews for maybe the last 2 months that as the weather has got progressively worse and worse and worse, people have got less interested in talking to us and just walk around looking so miserable. From when we were doing the street interviews in September and August, the sun was out, people were happy, everyone was really having a good time. To then people in December with their music in, heads down, looking awful. It really has showed to me what the weather does to the general mood of the population. And I just contrast this to being in Bali this time last year and everyone being so happy, the sun being out. It just makes people so much more social. And yes, there are ways to deal with winter unhappiness, and I definitely think you can cope with that. But for me personally, I just want to be around a whole group of people who are loving life, feeling really social and in great moods. Particularly in London, I think it's pretty miserable and it's quite depressing to be there. So I'm looking forward to some nice Dubai sun. I think it's about 30 degrees, so I'm looking forward to that, I won't lie. But weather aside, the more important reason why I'm just so keen to get out the UK is the general negative attitude towards entrepreneurs. I feel genuinely very passionate about this subject, and I feel like the UK is not a great place to be a young entrepreneur. And there's a massive scarcity mindset, and this comes from the fact that we're actually an island that used to compete over resources. And therefore, if you're doing well, the logic is that you must have taken precious resources from me. And this breeds into something called tall poppy syndrome, which is as soon as people get successful in the UK, when their head goes above the parapet, suddenly people start tearing them down. And I think you can see this with the amount of successful UK entrepreneurs that leave the UK to go and find better, more supportive communities abroad. I'm not even pretending that I'm successful yet, but micro conversations that I was having here and there in the UK were just so negative about me wanting to start something. Whereas I have conversations with American entrepreneurs every week as part of a community I'm in, and they are so collaborative and positive about building startups. And I want to be around those people. So the weather and the startup culture were the two things that really pushed me out of the UK. And even staying in the UK was going to have such a negative impact on me trying to start my own business. But then we come on to the second part of this video, which is why did I choose Dubai out of all the other places? There's a few logistical reasons that I just want to talk about first before I get into like the pillar reasons why I chose Dubai. There are obviously other options like San Francisco, like Sydney, like Bali that I definitely considered, but the price going there for a month definitely made no sense. So I was looking for somewhere that was fairly cheap to fly, below about £500, and also the fact that it's shared an American time zone because I'm currently working a sales role that needs me to be awake for American times. So anyway, that pointed me to kind of the Middle East, Europe, and anywhere in America or South America. But there are two reasons why I picked Dubai of all places there. And there is a caveat because I am very aware that Dubai has this negative reputation in the UK. And I do know some of it is justified because of some of the people that I've met there. And I was once in Bali and I met this girl and she was from Dubai and she said, I'm gonna spend £1,000. And I was just like, wow, like what is this place? Like what does Dubai breed in these people? Like it was very strange, and I really enjoyed getting on with her, but it was very money focused. And I'm aware from all the other people that I've met that it is a very money focused place. With that breeds entrepreneurs, but it also breeds people who are kind of fake gurus, scammers. And I've seen a lot of people on social media who I've just gone, there is no way I want to meet them. But there are people that I really know and trust who I'm actually staying with, who I really value the opinion of the place. And speaking to them has shown me that Dubai is a great place to be for the next month. And the first reason why that's the case is because Dubai is just set up for me to grind. There's so many reasons why this is the case. For example, all the places that I'm staying have gyms in the buildings, there's 24-hour delivery, and also it's fairly cheap to get around the place in taxis. They also told me you feel incredibly safe, so everything is geared towards getting my head down and just working on my business. In London, I've really found a fear in terms of the safety aspects of walking around London, and also the fact you just can't go outside half the time because it's pissing it with rain. And then somewhere like Bali is a great place to be for young entrepreneurs, but there are things like illness, things like getting around on scooters that you really have to deal with that don't happen in Dubai. It's just made to build your business. And that is what I need right now as a very early stage entrepreneur. So that's the first reason why I'm going to Dubai out of all other places. But the second reason is the networking. And I want to tell you a quick story which showed me the power of networking and then explain why I've picked Dubai of all places. So when I was living in Bali, I actually became a member of this gym, which was £190, which is like $240 a month just to be a member of it, which in Bali is absolutely astronomical. But what I learned from going to a gym like this is that when you pay expensive prices, you're around people who can afford those expensive prices. And I paid to be a member of that gym, and within 2 months, I'd already directly made the money back of deals that I'd sourced from meeting people there. It taught me a great lesson that if you surround yourself with people who are doing really well, you can literally elevate your business. And alongside all of those, you pick up the habits, you pick up the terminologies, you pick up little nuggets of information from just surrounding yourself with people who are doing really well. And no matter what you say about Dubai, it's not the cheapest place in the world, and it is full of entrepreneurs who are doing really well. For example, I'm staying with 2 people. One of my friends, Connor, who's killing it in the YouTube crypto space, and another friend, Ed, who's doing an amazing tech sales job. I want to be surrounded by those people on a day-to-day basis and not in my parents' house, where with the greatest respect to my parents, they're not going to inspire me to build my business. There are definitely places in the areas that I mentioned where you can surround yourself with entrepreneurs, but because of Dubai being massively expatty, there are a lot of people who run digital businesses and are entrepreneurs. And for me, that's exactly the people that I want to surround myself with. So I thought, where's the highest quantity of those people? And it was Dubai. Yes, I'll have to weed through the coaches and the fake guru bullshitters, but at the same time, there's going to be lots of people in coffee shops and gyms that I can really bounce ideas off and learn from. So there are the reasons that I've picked Dubai of all places in the regions that I mentioned. And the third bucket I want to talk about is this kind of exploring extra bucket. And there's kind of 2 things in this bucket as to why I've also decided to go away for a month as opposed to building up a money reserve back here in Essex. And the first thing is like, why not? I left the consulting space on purpose because I didn't like working in person, having to be in an office every day. I wanted the remote freedom to work wherever I want. And I've got that now by making content on YouTube and doing remote sales. And I want to be able to exercise that freedom. I want to gain new experiences. I want to meet new people. And all of that just doesn't happen from my parents' house in Essex. It might not be the most sensible financial decision. I probably should be hoarding cash and building up longer runways, but I also feel a sense of really exercising my freedom and going and exploring a place in the world that I've always been quite interested in. It's a bit of an unknown factor, but that excites me, and I can get a bit philosophical about this. But you know, life is only lived once, and I really want to explore as much of the world as I can before I settle down and have a family. So I think it's really cool to be able to do that now, and that's another reason why I've just gone fuck it and booked the plane ticket. And then the second reason is that, as you know from these videos, I make content, I talk about things, and you can't be a content creator that talks about being a content creator. To be honest, I want things and I need things to make content about, and moving around and experiencing new things give me so many more ideas and sparks for things I can make videos about. No one wants to listen to the content creator that sits at his parents' house and just talks about what he had for breakfast for 3 months in a row. As I said, it's not the main reason that I'm going, but it definitely was a consideration in thinking it's quite an interesting way to spark new ideas and come up with new bits of content that will hopefully be interesting for you. Again, those 2 reasons aren't really Dubai specific, but in general, I thought, why not? I should be going somewhere and it will be great for my content as well. So all in all, they're the reasons that I'm moving to Dubai. I'm moving from the 25th of November to the 25th of December, 2024. I can't wait to experience it. I'm so excited to land and just take in the new culture, meet amazing business people, and I really don't know what to expect, but I am excited and I look forward to bringing you on the journey with me. As I said, I make 2 videos every single week. I'll not be stopping that in Dubai, about building online businesses, about leaving your corporate job, about content creation, and I look forward to catching you in the next video.